A photo of two preschool-age children in an early child care setting playing together at a table with printed sheets of numbers and stacks of colored plastic rings. A graphic title below the photo reads, Assessment of Dual Language Learners. The speaker, Vera Gutierrez Cleland, is seen in an office setting.
Acquisition of the two languages by dual language learners is different from the acquisition of monolingual children in that language.
The speaker continues to talk as the camera goes back to the two children playing together. English embedded captions appear on screen throughout the video.
¿Cuál es más? Uno, ¿cuál es poquito? Uno o dos.
If the goal of the assessment is to learn what the child knows, and if we take into account that the child may know certain things in one language and not in the other,
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
then we need to look at what the child knows in both languages.
Pero ya ponle 4. Okay. Y aquí, cuenta aquí primero. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
So children may know certain things in one language and not in the other.
The speaker reappears on screen.
Learning may be distributed depending on where, they're exposed to those languages and what contexts, in the school, at home, academically.
The speaker, identified on screen as Elizabeth Crocker, Director of Children and Family Services, is seen in an early child care setting.
If we have a center director or head teacher who's Arabic speaking at one school and we need some observations and we can't get a volunteer or a family member to come in at another school where the child speaks Arabic, then that person has to go over there, observe that child, and provide some input so that we know what we're saying. We don't want to guess about children's development, and we certainly don't want to score them low because they're a beginning English speaker. Like, say I get a 3-year-old who's never been in school, only speaks Arabic at home, and then I assess him in English and Spanish. That's a big joke, right? So we want to make sure that that the assessment's valid.
Vera Gutierrez Cleland reappears on screen, followed by two preschool-age children in a dramatic play setting with an adult, followed by a teacher reading to a group of children in a circle time setting.
It is critical to look at the two languages and how they change over time so we can actually identify which children may actually need special services or intervention and which children may need a more focus on vocabulary and language development within the curriculum.
Say bear, bear.
The speaker, identified on screen as Linda Espinosa, Ph.D., co-principal investigator, Center for Early Care and Education Research, Dual Language Learners, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Dr. Espinosa's voice is heard during the following scenes, and she appears periodically between scenes.
And there are procedures for that. The desired results, developmental profile, English language development measures help a teacher understand what a typical progression would look like as a child is adding the second language.
A preschool-age child at a table points to pages in a book together with an adult identified on screen as another child's parent.
你是最喜欢 L 吗？
我就喜欢。
你最喜欢这个？我还以为你会喜欢 B。
And then I think you need to develop and design ways to gather information from people who are native speakers of your children's language and who represent that culture. So they're not just bilingual, but they really have cultural insights.
The same child and parent now play with picture cards at a table.
我怕猫。你怕猫吗？ Yeah.
哎呦！
And you need to engage them as partners in helping you understand, what did the child say when he came down that slide? Was he communicating something positive and productive to his peers?
Two preschool-age children sit at a table. One consoles the other.
And I didn't understand it, so I missed it, and there's a whole pro-social competency that's displayed as this child's out there on the playground or whatever.
Another child walks in and hugs the child who is sad. The other seated child gets up to join the hug.
It's also important to check our conclusions with families.
Two adults sit at a table having a parent-teacher meeting.
lenguaje y se pueda comunicar con sus compañeros, porque la veo que a veces es un poquito tímida cuando está en el salón. Yo sé, tal vez en la casa es diferente, como ella es en la casa.
Because they can see how their child is developing, and is that child able to play with their peers, talk about, you know, what they want to eat, express their needs, things like that. So that parent's going to be able to tell us whether what we have seen in a more contrived situation around language development matches what they're seeing from this child in their everyday interactions.
Ella, pero ella juega más en particularmente con su hermano, que como que se acopla bien, porque mi niño también casi tiene el mismo carácter, es un poco tímido también, entonces.
Credits. Adapted with permission from the California Preschool Program Guidelines DVD series, a product of the California Department of Education, developed by West Ed, copyright 2013. California Department of Education with West Ed. A special thanks to the programs and families without whose help this video series would not have been possible. The CDE logo appears in the lower left of the screen. The West Ed logo appears in the lower right.